Saint Antony of Egypt. He lived in the 3rd and 4th century, and that was in Upper Egypt at Memphis in Egypt, northern Africa. Now, and when he was quite young, and he inherited quite an estate from his parents who had died. And when he was in a sermon, he was listening, and then there was a story told about Jesus, and in that story, Jesus was saying to a rich person that person, maybe as an advice, how to get treasure in heaven, to sell what he had and give them the money to the poor. And then he would get treasure and richness in the heaven. Now, and Saint Antony of Egypt really understood that, the way he did it. And then he sold his estate and he gave the money to the poor, and he started to live then quite in poverty. He was only living on a jar mat, and he was only eating bread and salt and water, and he was only eating at night. Now, he wanted then to live more, even as Jesus did when he was 40 days in the desert, and he went to the desert for 20 years, lived there. He got 105 years old. So when he was 35, he went into the desert until he was 55. While he was in the desert, there are stories told about that Satan wanted to tempt him, and it is often the pictures in art that there were many animals climbing into the room, storming the room, all sorts of animals, leopards, scorpions, all sorts of animals, lions, whatever, all coming into the room. And then it's sometimes depicted that he was able to tempt these wild animals, and that is why he's the patronage of domesticated animals. Now, when he was 55, he went back. He would gotten from a friend bread and water where he was living in the caves in Egypt during the time. Now, he went back when he was 55, and many people wanted to get advice from him, and he had been disciples, and he was doing gardening and mat making. And he also was when asked about something, and his answer was then that he wanted to get the guidance of God, rather from the nature, which was always present, than reading books. And another of his maxims was that the best way to know God is to know oneself. And that is according to Malcolm Day's The Treasury of Saints book on the pages 30 and 31.